members of the Mahasangha, kind devotees, dear Dhamma practitioners, I'm very glad to be here and honored to be here today to celebrate the Vesak all together with you. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank towards Most Venerable Mahathero, the abbot of the temple, and Venerable Vipulananda Mahathero and the congregation and the devotees for inviting me to this wonderful moment to be with you and concentrate our mind on the qualities of the Buddha today. So, as Bhante earlier mentioned, we all know why we are here and what is the purpose of this gathering here today. To celebrate the Vesak. So, you know, the meaning of the Vesak, we already know. We are celebrating the birth of the Buddha and his enlightenment and the great passing away of the Buddha. Those are the significant events of Buddha's life that we are celebrating today here at this moment. So I would like to ask a question, especially from our young generation, our children. So, what is the purpose of this celebration? What is the purpose of organizing this wonderful celebration here today? If anyone can say anything, what is your idea? What is your response to that question? Any purpose?
Reply.
Sorry?
Like Buddha born and died and he became a Buddha?
Yeah, it's enlightenment. That is the purpose. That is the reason for organizing this ceremony. But I don't think that is the purpose. That is the reason. So I can see how you have organized this, how you have dedicated to, you know, bring this opportunity to see, experience everyone. But really the purpose of this organizing the ceremony is to pay our homage or to pay our respect to the Supreme Buddha, because we are celebrating his wonderful service, what he has given for us, given for our life to peace and happiness. So all these ceremonial activities showing our gratitude towards the Supreme Buddha, because why? There are two ways of paying homage to the Buddha. We all know that Buddha born in the Nepal, Lumbini, and then he became the Buddha. He got enlightenment at the age of 35, and then he served the mankind 45 years, and at the age of 80 the Buddha passed away. So in essence, Buddha's life we can summarize into that category. But before his passing away, Buddha addressed the gathering, monks, nuns, upasaka, upasika, all the lay devotees. And Buddha reminded us the two ways of paying homage, paying gratitude to the Buddha. We all know what are the two ways. Anyone can say the Pali word. We are, especially our Bangladesh Buddhist community, you know the word, right? One way is one puja is the Amisa puja, the other one is the Patipatti puja. So, Amisa puja means paying homage, paying respect to the Buddha through organizing and through practicing all kind of material things, offering material things, and also organizing all the ritual things. I can see how you have dedicated to organize this ceremony, and all smooth, wonderful music and traditional decorative items, and everything shows your dedication to the practice of the Buddha's teaching. But someone may ask a question, so is that the way, is that the highest way, is that the proper way to that we can pay our respect to the Buddha? Is that the way Buddha advises us to practice? So this is something we can think deeply, because someone may argue that these rituals are not more important than the practice of the real teachings of the Buddha. So, without argument on that, we can mindfully observe the spiritual meaning of all these ceremonial activities. For example, if we take the orange, for example, if you take an orange, which part is the more essence of the orange?
Inner part.
Inner part, right? Definitely. But can we talk about the essence of the orange or the inner part without its feeling, without its skin? We cannot talk about the inner part, inner things without its skin, right? Feel. Because the essence of the orange, the inner part, protect covering in the skin. The skin help to protect the inner part, grow inner part, right? All these rituals that we are practicing long time in the history has helped to protect this essence of the Dharma, because we learned the Dharma, we came to the Dharma through these all ritual practices. Because of that, most of the religious practices combine with rituals, customs, and its Dharma, the teachings of the teachers, the masters. So again, but Buddha again advises us, encourages us, oh my dear venerables, my dear devotees, there are two ways to respect to the Buddha. Amisa, offering to the material, is important, but is still more important through the practice of those rituals, again we need to concentrate our mind on the other way, the Patipatti Puja, the practicing the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha in our day-to-day life. Again we can question ourselves, what is the Dharma means? What is the Patipatti? So when we question ourselves, we can find the real teachings of the Buddha available right now for us to practice in our day-to-day life. Do you take at least one moment to reflect on the purpose of our whole human life? Because we all are experiencing same type of, the suffering or unhappiness, problems, happiness, all the experiences, no matter what religious practices we are practicing, as humans, we experience the same kind of problems in our day-to-day life. So once we are able to question ourselves, what is the purpose of my life? And then we need a kind of help from in any kind of spiritual practices. Because on one occasion, His Holiness Dalai Lama said that you can live without a religion, right? So there are a lot of people who has no any type of religious practices, but we cannot, as human, but we cannot live without spirituality. We all need kind of emotional and spiritual support to live a peaceful life. The human life, the purpose of our whole human life is to live and lead a peaceful life. So Dharma, Buddha's teaching, is not only one particular group of people, because Buddha's teaching is to all humans who are seeking the peace, inner peace, happiness in day-to-day life, every moment, not after death. So again, what is Dharma mean? I remember few months ago, I was in my internship as a spiritual counselor at a hospital. I had one kind of long dialogue with the patient who are coming from the other faith tradition. But he was very open-minded, and he had kind of knowledge, little bit knowledge about the Buddha's teaching. And because of his knowledge, he asked, "Oh, Venerable, we all are living in a complex society. It means our life kind of complex because we all have a lot of responsibilities while we are living in the society. As a husband, as a wife, as a parent towards children, as children. So our connectivity, human connectivity, depends on the completion of our responsibilities towards each other. That's how we can have kind of healthy relationship with others. So therefore we have to dedicate our life to maintain a healthy relationship in our complex society, complex life. How can I practice the Dharma really? And even I was kind of, quiet for a moment, and I shared one story, the discourse from the Pali discourses. Maybe you have already know that. So the discourse on the donor, the Brahmin donor. So we all know the dialogue between the Brahmin donor and the Buddha. So donor saw the Buddha and asked some couple of questions. In essence, I would like to share that story. Brahmin donor didn't recognize the Buddha, but he realized that this person must be somebody has kind of developed-minded person, who has kind of ascetic person. And then he asked a couple of questions. Oh, are you a deva, a divine being? Buddha said, no, I am not a divine being. And again he asked, if not, are you a yakka or a demon? Buddha said, no, I am not either demon. And he again asked, are you a Gandharva? We all know it is type of divine, again the beings. He said, no. Are you a human then? Buddha said, no, I am not a human. And he was kind of quiet and again asked, oh, if you are not a divine being, if you are not a demon or Gandharva or human, who are you? Again, Buddha said, if I am a divine being, so I must have the defilements that divine being possessed. If I said I am a demon, I must have such defilements that demons possessed. And the Gandharva and the human. But Buddha said, I can give the example or the parable to show what Buddha is, who Buddha was, who Buddha is, who I am. Buddha said, you can see the lotus on the pond, in the pond. White lotus, red lotus. The lotus grow in the mud. And we can see contaminated water even in such a lotus pond. But seed of the lotus grow in the mud and contaminated water, but it still grow in the mud. It's come out of the contaminated water, the water and muddy water, and it's come up, and the lotus remain without touching the contaminated water and the mud. Buddha's life the same, equal to the lotus. Buddha born in the general human world as a human, and he grew up the society like we all, and he renounced his life, the worldly life. He dedicated his life to seek the real truth in this world, and then he realized the Dharma, or the nature, the reality of this life, but he eradicated all the defilements that we all are possessed. And then, but still, he maintained, he lived in the society without contaminated any defilements that we all humans possess. So as a Buddhist practitioners, our dedication and our promise to ourselves, not to others, promise to ourselves on this auspicious day must be to dedicate our whole life to live in the society while we are performing, performing our duties each other, to live and live our human life, eradicating and subduing or reducing all the defilements, anger, hate, jealousy, all those defilements that disturb the peace of our day-to-day life. So therefore, Buddha's final word was to be diligent, be wise, be mindful every moment. Mindful on your body, feelings and mind and the object of the mind. That must be our dedication. That must be our purpose to organizing this ceremony. So we are dedicating our whole life to the practice of the Buddha's teaching and follow the Buddha's teaching. That is the real, that is the highest way that we can pay our gratitude to the Supreme Buddha. So therefore, I would like to you all, as monks we and as lay practitioners you, both together as one community, we all are practicing, we all are following one path, that is the middle path that Buddha explained, that Buddha showed us. So let us have determination to dedicate our whole life to practice Buddha's teaching. By the practicing of the Buddha's teaching, may we all able to experience the peace in this very life, happiness this very life, and attain the final bliss of Nibbana. With that intention, let us say Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.